Whittingdale.
Can I start by congratulating my honourable friend, the member for Totnes, on obtaining this debate. I echo an awful lot of what he has said. I do think there is enormous potential for the expansion of shellfish production in the UK, but I want to talk specifically about my own constituency and to some extent echo the comments that we've just heard from the member for Huddersfield. And it is the fact that actually if we look around this room, we've heard from Devon and Cornwall, from Yorkshire. I see Scotland and Northern Ireland represented in the debate, but I want to talk on behalf of Essex, which has since Roman times been a place where oysters have been cultivated. And when I first was elected to this place, I had the honour to represent a part of Colchester, so I used to attend the Colchester Oyster Feast with oysters produced from Mersey Island, and I now represent Maldon. I have always represented Maldon, where Maldon Oyster Company is based, and I had the pleasure of visiting their new depuration and packing plant in Cock-Clarks very recently. And actually, if you go into restaurants across our great city here, you will quite frequently see Maldon oysters on the menu. Maldon oysters are doing well. They grow their oysters in the Blackwater Estuary. The Blackwater Estuary is categorised as Category B waters, and only once in recent times has it exceeded that, and there were various explanations put forward. Possibly it was discharges from houseboats, or possibly it was seabirds, but certainly my constituents believe that it is, and this is where I follow on from what the Honourable Member for Huddersfield said just now, that it is the level of sewage discharge, particularly from development taking place. And my area, many I suspect represented here, is undergoing substantial extra housing development, which is putting ever-increasing pressure on the sewage companies, in my case, Anglian Water. Now, when I talk to them, they tell me that they monitor and that they are compliant with the requirements under the permits. They are fitting the new discharge monitors. Now 70% of my constituency has them fitted, and they are confident of reaching 100%. But part of the problem is that the contamination affecting oyster production is not actually subject to monitoring outside of designated shellfish waters and bathing waters. And whilst part of my area, the Blackwater Estuary, is a designated water, other parts where oysters are grown are not. And I recently held a public meeting on the issue of the water quality in the Blackwater in my constituency. The Honourable Gentleman mentioned the Rolling Stones. I invited an old friend of mine to participate in the public meeting, who I think will be known to the Minister, but to me was known in his previous capacity as the lead singer of the Undertones, who I saw perform on several occasions. But he has now become a very strident campaigner on the issue of water quality. And whilst I don't always agree with Fergal Sharkey, I do think he is actually doing an important job in raising awareness of this. So really, my contribution this afternoon is to pass on the request from my constituents at Maldon Oysters. Firstly, that there does need to be more monitoring, not just in the specified designated shellfish waters, of such things as E. coli and bacterial contamination, which is not generally monitored, but also the priority needs to be given to the investment of the processing of the discharge, perhaps through UV treatment of those discharges which are close to shellfish waters. Because whilst at the moment the Blackwater continues to grow extremely popular oysters which are enjoyed around the country, there is concern that if this development continues at this pace without that additional investment to ensure that the water remains uncontaminated of bacterial contamination, then that could one day be put at risk. So I absolutely echo about the point about the importance of maintaining water quality, which is essential if this extremely important industry is to continue to thrive.
Yeah.